Welcome everyone to the Air Conservation Commission meeting. This is Thursday, March 25th, 2021. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live and on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For the Zoom meeting information relating to the remote participation, please contact Joanne Kristoff, Conservation Administrator, at concom@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8249, or Carly Antonellis, Assistant Town Manager, at cantonellis@ayer.ma.us or at 978-772-8220. In attendance this evening, we have Jen Amaya as member. We have George Bacon as member. We have Jess Gugino as member clerk. We have Mark Phillips as vice chair, myself, John Schmallenberger as chair, and we have Joanne Kristoff as conservation administrator. All righty, do we have confirmation of agenda?
The only change we have to the agenda is to add a discussion at the very beginning of the meeting about site walks for RDAs. But other than that, the agenda is good to go.
Okay, motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Passes unanimously. Do we have approval of meeting minutes for March 11th, 2021? Beautifully written, Jess?
You and Joanne did find a couple little errors, which
Very little, tiny little.
Yeah. A dollar sign was a capital S instead of the symbol, and I just had to change a plural of the Matthews name, so it didn't. At any rate, those changes have been made in my copy that will get posted.
Okay. Well, good eyes, people. Those were tough ones. Motion to approve the meeting minutes for March 11th, 2021 as amended.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Meeting minutes are approved unanimously. Any payables report?
We have no payables this time.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to invite the public who are watching, listening to during the course of the meeting to, if you have any questions or comments, please speak up, let us know. Our first item this evening is a discussion on RDAs and NOIs. We have a slew of those coming up, and I was talking with Joanne earlier today, and we're trying to ease the burden on Joanne for having to work 6 days a week by possibly scheduling RDAs, which aren't as difficult to assess as notice of intents. Is it notices of intent or notice of intents?
Notice of intent.
Yeah,
Okay.
what she said.
What you said, thank you. So we're wondering about notice of intent. You should meet as a group and have all eyes there so that we can discuss it intelligently at our next meeting. RDAs, we're wondering if during, not on a Saturday, but during the week, in an evening or afternoon, if we could schedule a site walk for the RDAs with Joanne and possibly 2 other commissioners or 1 other commissioner, just to ease the load. And wondering what you all thought about that.
I'm fine with that, and I can be pretty flexible during the workday with meetings and everything. My only concern is for the homeowners, especially if, I mean, a lot of people are working remotely, but if they're not, then that might be a burden on them. So just something to consider.
Yeah, I think we'd have to schedule, there'd be a bit of scheduling to get the homeowner and Joanne and a couple, 1 or 2 commissioners to get on site, but I'm sure we could work it out.
And
Jess, how do you feel about that?
I'm fine with doing that for some of them. I don't think we have to do site walks, as you know, commissioner present site walks for everything. I was telling Joanne, you know, if there's like somebody has hazard trees or an incredibly minor, non-problematic project, I'm fine with Joanne just giving us the advice.
Agreed.
Okay. Yep.
But, you know, and not doing a weekend site walk or anything, so.
Right. What are your thoughts, George?
Yeah, I'm good with that. And I can be somewhat flexible towards the end of the day.
Okay, good. Mark?
Yeah, same thing. I think that's fine. And just as Jess said, there's a number of things that, I trust Joanne's judgment on those. And then, yeah, just as George said, with working from home, at least for now, don't have the 1-hour commute after work and things like that. So, I might be available too, as George said, later in the day, in certain instances. So, that could work too.
Yep. I know Joanne doesn't want to work 6 days a week, and commissioners, sometimes their Saturdays and Sundays are very precious too. So this might work out for the best.
I think this would work well. There are, lots of the smaller minor RDAs that I'm completely at ease meeting a homeowner whenever, early, late, during the week. There are other ones that it's just good to have somebody else's eyes on. And I feel like I could sort those out for us. But I think at our upcoming meeting, we've got like 5 RDAs, and they're all, I know, and a notice of intent. The RDAs are all things that we're going to need to look at. But 3 of them are DPW, so we could, Dan will be available during the day, even if it's late in the day. Yeah, I think this will streamline our operation.
And it
Good thing.
it doesn't touch our policy towards notices of intent, where we do a group site walk on Saturday.
Every single one of them.
Every single one.
Yep.
Okay, any other comments from commissioners? Comments from people viewing? Okay. Very good. Do we need to vote on this, make a motion, or it's just,
No,
okay, all right, very good. All righty, then our next item this evening is a public meeting, a request for determination of applicability, an RDA at number 71 Nashua Street, Jesse and Ryan Clinton. And Jesse and Ryan, are you with us this evening? Hello, how are you?
Yes, we are. Hi.
Hi, thanks for joining us.
So,
Yeah,
go
can you tell us what your plans are?
so our plan, or what we would like to do, is put an 8x12 shed immediately adjacent to our driveway. Last fall, we were here previously for a driveway extension, so it's immediately adjacent to that driveway extension. So a lot of you probably have already walked this site and kind of know what shape it is. So the scope of work would involve grading the ground, which is already disturbed because we don't have a lawn yet because it's a brand new construction, putting in a gravel pad that's about 6 inches deep, and then building a shed on top of it.
A gravel pad, and would it sit on concrete blocks? Or
No, the frame of the shed is just 4x4s, and the 4x4s sit directly on the gravel.
okay.
The gravel is sufficient for drainage.
Are you just putting the gravel on top of the dirt as it is, or are you scraping a little bit away and putting the gravel down, or are you?
We're scraping a little bit away. Currently, the grade of that part of the yard is really awkward. So we could probably do it by hand, but I'm having a friend with a small lawn tractor smooth it for me and then dig a 6-inch hole to put the gravel in so it doesn't move.
Okay.
Then you're just going to wheelbarrow the gravel in, or use the tractor?
Pretty much. I'll probably just have the gravel delivery place dump it in the hole. It's pretty close to the driveway, and then just smooth it by hand.
Sounds like the best. So
Yeah.
So you said we've been there looking at the driveway. Is this Jen? Jen, is this your neighbor?
I'm next door neighbors with
Yep.
Jen, yes.
They're that way.
Okay, yeah, okay. I just couldn't remember if that was the same. All right, now I get
Yep.
it. I can picture it in my mind now.
Yeah, and all that dirt is still disturbed because we did that. We ended up doing that work in November. So nothing has grown, and we don't have to dig up any vegetation to do this because there's no vegetation there yet.
right.
So
Yeah.
my question is, what will you be doing with the soil that you're taking out of the hole where the gravel's going in?
So the lawn, well, I say lawn, dirt pile immediately adjacent to it is sort of still sunken and we need more fill. So we're using it to level our yard.
Okay. No trees coming down, nothing else.
Nope.
Okay. Well, we've all been out there. What do you think? And seen the site.
You had that sort of, didn't you have a big drop off to the right of the driveway?
Oh, right as you cross over the stream.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. That we'll be back here for something once we figure out what to do with that. We have to figure out how to stabilize that bank and make that awkward corner not so perilous for FedEx. We haven't figured out a way to make it permanent, safe yet, but we'll be back for that.
We'll be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
George, you have thoughts on this one?
It sounds pretty straightforward. I don't see any issue with it.
Yeah. How about you, Jen?
I think it would be fine.
Mark?
Yeah, I think negative's fine.
And Joanne, you okay with this guy?
I am. I think it would be the right thing for me to do, to just go take a look. That's all right with you, Jesse and Ryan. I'll just
Yes, that's
swing by on my way by the Zolas.
yeah. Just come visit Nashua Street.
Say hi to Jen on my way by. Yep.
Yep. In case I'm not here or not available, the layout of the shed is staked and spray painted, so you can see where it's going to go.
Perfect. Perfect. So I won't even bother you. I'll just down, take a look. I'll be there for 15 seconds and sometime very early in the week.
All right.
Thanks.
Yep.
So do we need to wait to vote on this until we have your go ahead, Joanne?
Oh, I would say not. You know, I won't issue this until Monday anyway. So why don't you vote on it pending my inspection, I guess.
Okay. All righty. Any other comments from commissioners or people viewing, listening? All righty. Is there a motion to issue a negative determination at 71 Nashua Street, Jesse and Ryan Clinton, pending Joanne Christoph's inspection?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Okay, you have your negative determination, which is a good thing.
Well, thank you all.
And Joe, there's a grace period or from when?
10-day appeal
10
period.
days, 10-day appeal. Okay, so when you hear from Joanne, it'll take 10 days and then you can do your shed.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
You
Thank
could,
you,
are you building a wooden shed or what kind of shed?
The kind you buy from Costco, but yes, it's wood. I'm being lazy and paying someone else to build it for me, but
That's sometimes best.
yeah, I'm digging the hole if it makes you feel any better, but
All right, thanks for joining us.
all right, thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a good
Bye.
evening. Our nedo I have to close this?
nope,
Okay. Our next item this evening is a public meeting request for determination of applicability at 219 Woodland Way and Ann Nee. And is Ann with us this evening?
Yes, I am.
Good evening to you. Could you,
I'm trying to figure out how to put myself on. Can you see me?
no.
nope, you can
No.
see your name and
We saw you briefly earlier, though.
You did?
Yep.
Okay.
So there might be a little button down at the bottom that says start video.
Oh, yes, okay. There we go.
there you
That
go.
better?
There you go.
This is new to me. I thank Joanne for helping me to get on tonight.
We had an awesome tutorial, Zoom 101 yesterday.
It was great.
Yeah, well, trust me, every time this works for me, it's it's a miracle. So, so tell us what you'd like to do.
Okay, so I just moved into 219 Woodland Way a couple of weeks ago. And so it's a new single-family home. The driveway, none of the landscaping or any of that is in yet. When I purchased the lot, I purchased it with the anticipation of putting in an in-ground swimming pool. At this point, I've submitted the application and I'm giving you a diagram of kind of what I'm trying to do in the backyard. From what I understand now that Joanne has explained quite a bit of this to me, there is a 100-foot buffer from the wetlands, and it appears that where I'm trying to put the pool is ending up in some of that buffer. So at this point, I need to ask for a variance on the buffer in order to put an in-ground pool in, which is going to be a 21 by 34 vinyl kidney-shaped pool. And then with a decking around it of about 4 feet and a cabana and to put up a vinyl fence.
So I can share my screen to show you. And let's see. This should look familiar from Mulaney Engineering. And I scanned it, it came out sideways, but this is, Ann's house is the house way down at the bottom of the loop of Woodland Way with the long driveway that goes in towards the 2 big stormwater basins down. So this is, can you see my arrow? This is her driveway. It goes all the way up to Woodland Way.
Yep, I remember that driveway.
There's a big basin here. There's another basin here.
Mhm.
So Mika at Steve's office colored this up for Ann so that she could see her wetland resource area, her drainage easements, the buffer zone, roof drainage. So this blue shaded area is the place on her property where she could put a swimming pool. This is the sketch that Ann made for us, showing her house. This is the driveway into the garage is right here. So the pool is right behind the house. She said yesterday she could move it about 10 feet this way, right, Ann? Going this-
Yes, because originally I didn't really quite understand when I first got the site plan whereabouts the pool was supposed to go. That's why we kind of pushed it over to the right side. But then after you explained it, so we can move it probably about a good 10 feet the other way, more into the area that is not part of the buffer. So there'd be a lot less of a variance that would be needed.
So if I go back
Yeah,
to this, the buffer zone,
is that the line that kind of goes through the pool where the engineer originally put the pool.
this is the buffer zone. right?
Yes. Mhm.
So if everything scoots over a little bit, she'll really only have part of her pool and decking and cabana in the outermost part of the buffer zone to this wetland resource area.
Correct, because originally the pool guy and I thought that that was the side that we weren't supposed to be going into. But as you explained in the whole diagram, now we got it, that
Yeah.
it's more the other way.
This is really an intense little diagram here.
Yes.
And just so that I believe I'm understanding, but I just want to be sure, right? So on your drawing,
Mhm.
you have the wetlands identified to the left. So the wetlands are closer to the driveway, correct?
Yep.
So the buffer
Yes.
from there, basically up to the north, the house is already in the buffer.
Yes, that's what Joanne told me. Pretty
Okay.
much my whole land, I guess, is in the buffer.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought, and I was just trying to find the wetlands the other way with one of the other drawings until I saw this one, but I just wanted to be sure I was understanding it properly. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, this is the tail end of the finger-like wetland that comes all the way down through the center of the loop of Woodland Way.
Okay,
It crosses under Woodland Way in front of Ann's house and picks up in this little finger-like projection that's really down grade. The grading goes up really on both sides of that wetland. And it's a little bit flat behind the house and it's a little bit flat in front of the house, but you know, then there's all this. So this one I think would be good for myself and whoever else wants to come to just take a quick look.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would like to take a look at it if I can.
Yeah, we haven't done swimming pool in ages, if ever, since I've been on, so I think it'd be good to look.
Yeah, and so let's we don't have to schedule it right now. Actually, I don't have my work calendar here, so and I'm not in the office tomorrow, but Monday I'll send an email around and we can figure out who can go when and
Yeah.
and what is your schedule like?
I'm pretty much open. I work from home.
You work from
I'm
home.
a
Okay.
tax person, so this time it's a little busy, but I can be pretty flexible whenever you can come out. That'd be great.
Could I make a suggestion?
Yes.
I mean, because I'm assuming we're going to be scheduling a site walk for the notice of intent we have in a couple items. So, you know, we don't have more notices of intent, but we could do this at the same time if you wanted. Especially since it seems like most of us want to see this anyways.
well, so before we go too far with that, our next agenda item is also another RDA for another swimming pool.
Yeah.
We have about a minute left.
Okay, if we can, I would really prefer to do the RDAs during the week
Okay.
and not not, yeah,
Junk
that,
uppers.
it's my preference. It doesn't mean that's what we have to do.
No, your preference counts.
I don't see why we can't do that.
That's fine. And if it doesn't work out where I can go, like, I trust whatever you guys report back. So that's fine.
Alrighty, so Joanne, you will, when you get into the office and have your calendar, you can let us know what works for you and for Ann.
Yeah,
Let's
let's do
And
that.
again, Joanne, I'm pretty flexible, so please just go ahead with your schedule. I don't think I have anything that I can't change next week, so.
Okay, that's great. And really would only be there for 10 or 15
Yeah,
minutes at the
that's
most.
fine.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Well, thank you.
And,
Welcome to Zoom.
Yes, thank you, Joanne.
So make a motion to continue.
We don't need to.
You don't
on
need it
RDA.
for an RDA, you don't need to, okay. All righty, then have a good evening, Ann, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty, so our next item this evening, public meeting RDA for 69 Nashua Street, Richard Zola. Are you with us tonight, Richard?
I am. All
Good
right.
evening, sir. How are you?
Very good, thanks.
You have someone else there as well.
My wife.
The
Yeah.
wife.
And your name was,
I'm Mary.
Mary, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Can you tell us what you would like to do?
Sure.
Do they have the slides?
Well, I have slides, but we can talk about it. So we are looking to put a 45-foot retaining wall in that's about 4 feet high, maybe a little under. Proper drainage, of course, and a 16-foot round in-ground swimming pool, saltwater.
Saltwater?
Yep.
Cool. And you have some slides for us?
I do. If I could share, I don't know if I'm allowed to.
You can
You can
share.
screen share. Yep.
So, this is how it kind of sits from Google Earth. This is the buffer zone. I got this from Joanne. Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
And what I did was, it's a 100-foot buffer, so I kind of see, you see this line here where this line is, and then I go 100 foot back for Google Earth, and we kind of see where that wetlands resides, and then I kind of did the measurement from where the end of the excavation is to my property. It's a little farther than I think where we ended up with the backyard, which is 30 feet from the wetlands. And this is what I'm trying to do. I would like to, first I'll show you a little picture here. This is the back of my yard, and it's a pretty good slope here, and it's not really, it's not as stable as I would like it to be with the runoff. And as you can see, this is the issue on the right side backyard where the slope, and again, there'll be runoff here. So I'm looking to do a retaining wall here, and I'll show you on the other diagram. But I'd like to take this native soil and make this more stable, and then put some biodegradable netting or some wood chips with some native plants to kind of tie that together so that it stays and doesn't erode. And I think this slope right now is about 30 degrees. I'd like it to get more of a 20 degrees, so it's just not such a big steep slope and especially when as you know, the snow and everything else, it just keeps eroding. So back to this slide here, that 69 is pretty much back here. This is the same kind of drawing I showed you before. And so this retaining wall would come out and then would kind of end. And there'd be, gravel and drainage here. So it's proper drainage, and this would be hardscaped. So now we actually have not as much runoff going this way, and this way. And so if I could make this more stable with the native soil, I mean, I wouldn't bring in fill because that's not really appropriate. And this is really the only opportunity I have to make this more stable. So the 16-foot round pool just goes in the ground here, salt water, and then it gets fenced in with this aluminum fence that I have is something we've already talked about, but it's not set in concrete. It's just you bang in the it's like an EMT piece of pipe, and then it sleeves over it, and it just ties it together, and it's pretty sturdy, and it just keeps the dog. We use it for the dogs right now, but it would be both for the dogs and for the because of the code for the fence around the pool.
Okay.
Yeah, so 45-foot long wall, just under 4 feet tall. Some granite stairs that come down right here, and the swimming pool, fencing, and then I want to try and make this more stable because we're going to be here forever. This the whole reason why we bought this property was because of this.
And to protect it.
We have all the privacy in the world, and we're not.
Yeah.
We want to stay. So.
Yeah, when we actually on our own had to pay thousands into our yard. One of the biggest concerns we had when we got the property was ensuring erosion control measures, which we did on our own. We did wood chips. I had Joanne out to look at the property. We're really trying to grow native plants in that slope, but that slope we couldn't fix after we moved in because we couldn't touch it without your approval. It's incredibly steep. It's not safe. It's not stable. And we'd like the opportunity to make it better and to do better by the wetlands. And we'll plant, we'll do the wood chips, we'll do the netting. We'll kind of do the measures that we would like done.
And whatever else you guys have recommendations is fine too. We're open to suggestions for sure.
All right. Well, we appreciate you going to the effort to take care of it. This seems like a site that we should visit as well.
Sure.
And I guess the same question: what is your availability for us coming by or some of us coming by to take a look?
I work from home Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So.
Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay. And possibly Joanne, you could, again, once you get into the office and see what your schedule is like, could schedule them in, maybe the same time as Ann, if it works out that way.
Yeah, I think we could do these two in an afternoon on a Monday or Wednesday, or not Friday. Well, maybe in the morning on Friday, but I'll be in touch, Rich, and we'll see what we can set up.
Sure, thanks.
I have one question.
Yes.
So it's going to be a saltwater pool. Is there ever any risk of the saltwater being drained into the wetlands?
And the reason why we wanted salt water, well, first of all, it's better for better for your skin and everything else, but it's also more environmentally suitable instead of chlorine, pool type of thing.
It probably doesn't leak any more than any other pool.
Better not leak. I mean, it's gonna be brand new.
Well, for a while. Yeah.
So the water stays in it all year with a cover over it in the winter?
Yeah, I think you drain it down past the piping so it doesn't freeze up, Joanne. But you would cover it to make it safe. You have to make it safe.
So drain it down into what?
Almost like a trampoline type of thing over this pool, yeah. So that, leaves don't get in it, stuff like that. And then if someone falls in, they're not getting all tangled up in the cover. That's why those other ones are pretty safe.
Mm-hmm. When you do drain it, where does it go?
Down that Jess is asking about. Where would that draining go? And And I was thinking the exact same thing when you said salt water. I was just curious about that.
Yeah, so it's not true salt water. So salt water is uh, like 300,000 parts per billion, and this is more like 30,000. So it's like you wouldn't taste salt. It's not like a true ocean type of thing, if you guys understand. But it's just, and it's still a chlorination type thing. You just do it with salt in a brine tank instead of with chlorine tablets and that chemical. If that makes sense.
It does. I guess I'm not fully up on understanding if that's worse or if it's worse or better than a chlorine system when you're next to a freshwater area, freshwater wetland. So I'm just not.
A minute left.
We'd have to check out.
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah. So I mean, we could pump it into drums and take it away. I guess. Yeah. I don't know. But we're not gonna leach it into the wetlands if that's what you're asking. Anyways.
Right, and more than likely, it would just probably need to be diluted with, let's say, with fresh water or something if you needed to do it. But like I said, just not sure. We'd have to.
Yeah, it's a small 16-foot pool, so I mean we literally have to get down about 4 inches just to get below the pipes. So
Right. Yep.
Oh, okay, that's not much.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for all the information, and we look forward to coming out and having a look.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Richard and Mary, for joining us.
Okay.
Aye.
Have a good evening. All right. Our next item this evening is a public hearing, notice of intent at number 2 Sandy Pond Road. McDonald's, DEP file number to be assigned. And do we have some representatives from McDonald's to give us a presentation this evening?
We do.
Yes.
Great.
Good evening, Jim Cranston with Bowler Engineering, representing McDonald's this evening. McDonald's is proposing a drive-through improvement and some ADA accessibility improvements at their facility. There are some areas of the site that did not comply with ADA regulations in terms of slopes within the parking lot and sidewalk area. And they are also going to be optimizing the drive-through by making it more efficient. I know that there are some operational issues today with queuing out into the street. We are working with the planning board as well on this project. And as part of the drive-through improvements and optimization, there is a small building addition planned on the north side of the building, as shown on the documents that were submitted. If you'd like, I have a plan showing the existing conditions with the resource areas kind of colored up. I can share if that works.
Yeah, if you can, please.
Sure. Okay, it is a plan showing up on your screen.
It is.
All right, perfect. So this site, we have a perennial stream at the north side of the site, down gradient from the parking lot. The location is demarked with the blue line. There's also a wetland to the northwest on the abutting property. This wetland is shown approximately, we took that from Mass GIS. It's not on our property, so flagging wetlands on someone else's property is usually frowned upon. So what we've done is we've shown that buffer associated with that wetland on the plan as shown in green. And then the 200-foot riverfront buffer is the red line, as you can see, bisecting Sandy Pond Road and East Main. So pretty much the entire site falls within the riverfront area, and then a portion of the site falls within the regulated 100-foot wetland buffer. What I've shown on the plan in orange, those are the physical disturbance areas. All of the work is occurring within existing paved areas, and I've seen several of these be constructed and this work done on other locations. And if you think about when they do this work, they're basically going to saw cut the existing pavement in the area shown in orange, and basically they will remove the bituminous or the concrete sidewalks, which would then be lowering the surface elevation below the surrounding grade. So doesn't really generate a lot of erodible activities. Any of the exposed surfaces are fairly limited, and they'd be protected by the saw cut, but we do have additional protective measures, and all of the catch basins on the site are proposed to have inlet protection filter fabric within each of the inlets to provide additional protection. If there's no questions about this plan, I can show you the proposed plan.
Can you just tell me which way does the stream go into the wetlands or out of the wetlands?
That's a good question. Let me take a look at the grading plan. So we actually don't have topography down on that end. I'm actually not certain which direction.
Okay.
It
I was
will.
just curious.
And that's a perennial stream, or Joanne, I thought you said it was an intermittent stream?
Well, Jim, do you want to talk about the decision to just call it riverfront rather than delineate, or should we just keep going through the plans?
So, I mean, on the USGS, it shows as a blue line, and really the only way to document it as being intermittent is we'd have to observe the flows during the summer months and record. And I think I forget how many consecutive days it has to be dry. And, this time of year, it's just not that easy to do. And I think we just said, let's just call it perennial and go forward. If we were expanding a parking lot and pushing further towards the stream, maybe we'd see if it was actually intermittent or not. But given the lack of impacts to the resource areas based on the work, we just wanted to move forward and call it what it is, or what we think it is, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So be conservative, I guess. So this is the proposed plan. So the project, again, it's a side-by-side drive-through. This island here would be a landscape island, and there would basically be two menu boards side by side. It's going to increase the efficiency of the drive-through, and it's actually going to allow the queuing to actually occur on the site and around the building versus out into Sandy Pond Road. The orange areas, again, that depicts the disturbed area on the site, again, entirely within the paved areas. And then this gray shaded area, that is the small building bump out to support a cash booth, which is also going to help optimize the drive-through. So we are doing work again within the 100-foot riverfront area. That's this line that bisects the building right here. And then also within the 200-foot riverfront area. And as far as the wetland buffer, there's a small section of disturbance here of overlap. But again, the site does have curbing around the entire perimeter, and everything is collected by the on-site drainage system. So that kind of concludes my presentation. I'm sure you have questions.
Mhm. Questions from commissioners?
This one would be nice to just see on site.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did get a file number today with extensive comments from Judy Schmitz.
What's the file number now?
100-0457.
0457.
Yes.
Thank you.
What were some of the comments?
Oh gosh, they go on and on and on. I've honestly never seen such lengthy comments.
Was
And
that in the email that came out, Joanne? I don't remember seeing comments.
yeah, it is in the email.
It is, okay.
Well, it came as an email to me. Let's see, who else did she send it to?
I just saw the DEP number. I didn't realize that there were actually comments associated.
No, she sent it to you too. So, it says under the box where the file number is, although a file number is being issued, please note the following, and then it goes on for quite I see it. It's the third, fourth one from the bottom, I think. Oh, no,
Yep.
that's NOI cover letter. Never mind.
Yeah, I found it.
Second one down from the top.
Yeah, I found it. Am
Okay.
I sharing the wrong screen now? Yeah, I did find it. I didn't realize that there were comments here. I just saw the subject said DEP file number. I didn't see any.
Yeah. I know DEP doesn't like it when folks use the wetlands layer on Mass GIS as a way to locate wetlands. We've been told that layer is not accurate. Anyway, it really, until you have a time to actually read the comments and I have a time to read and analyze the comments, there's no point talking about the comments.
5
I
minutes.
agree, and given the fact that you want a site walk, I agree with that.
Okay, well, we should schedule a site walk.
Hey, Joanne, you forwarded on the comments to us, or is it in the
Oh, yeah.
inbox?
No.
Okay.
No, they came in late this afternoon, 5 o'clock. So I'll forward them to you tonight.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks.
Even if I did see them, I probably wouldn't have answers for you.
No, they're quite something.
Okay.
So can we schedule a site walk? What works for commissioners? This coming Saturday?
Sure.
Joanne,
And
does that work for you? Yep,
what's the date on that?
27.
27th. March 27th. Earlier better for people so they can get on with their day?
Yes.
8 o'clock?
Okay.
Is that too early, Ms. Gugino? Is that?
I'm fine.
Do it? Okay.
She's got a whole day between now and then to go into training for it.
Rest up.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to walk the dogs at some point, but maybe they'll not see me slip out.
Okay. Does that work for you, Jim?
Yeah, I can make that work.
Okay. We appreciate your flexibility. So we will then see you at the McDonald's parking lot at 8 a.m. on March 27th.
Sounds good.
Okay. Any other comments from commissioners or anyone else who is viewing or listening? All righty. Is there a motion to continue the notice of intent at number 2 Sandy Pond Road, McDonald's, DEP file number 100-0457 until when?
Not our upcoming meeting, I don't think. No, actually, I think we do have a slot to continue this one on
The 8th?
April 8th.
Yeah.
So we can do it until April 8th?
Yep.
So
Okay.
continue it until April 8th.
Yeah, you did put it on there.
Good.
So just looking ahead, that's 2 weeks from now. How soon before that meeting do you actually need answers and responses to the DEP comments? I just want to make sure we have time and you have time.
I send the packet for the meeting out Tuesday before the meeting around noon. So if you could get them to us either at the end of the preceding week or Monday, the week of the meeting at the latest.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Okay, so is there a motion to continue the public hearing notice of intent at number 2 Sandy Pond Road, McDonald's DEP file number 100-0457 until April 8th?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. We will continue on the 8th. Thank you, Jim, for your time this evening. Appreciate it.
you bet. Thank you very much.
All right, you have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Our next item this evening is a discussion, a review of requests of quote for 2021 ponds weed treatment project. And where's my paper? Jen and I spoke earlier this week about the pond treatment to try to possibly figure out what to do and not, so we don't have to take so much time in the meeting if you agree with what we came up with. Solitude and water and wetlands are both fairly high as far as the cost goes. And Joanne spoke with town council to ask if we need to pick the cheaper of the quotes. And they basically said, no, we need to pick the best, what we feel is the best. And Joanne, Jen and I were, when we spoke, we were wondering if you take out the sonar in Sandy Pond, those two treatments, the initial sonar and then the sonar bump, it brings down the price of the water and wetlands to $700. It looks like less than Solitude. And we were thinking of going with water and wetlands because there's just it feels like they're feeling a little comfortable with their position and not giving us the best.
wait, who's feeling comfortable? Wait.
Solitude is, as far as their quotes and some of their, I mean, last year they didn't post that one pond that had gotten treated. So the one that we had recommended would be water and wetlands without the sonar in Sandy Pond, and everything else would be basically the same. It's $2,000 more in Sandy Pond or in Flanagan's Pond than in Sandy Pond, and a lot of other things are less. So what are your thoughts?
The sonar is for the fanwort. And so my question is, why take that one away from Sandy Pond?
It's just to bring it didn't seem like there was a huge amount of fanwort. And when you do that, it makes the prices almost comparable.
Okay.
Solitude didn't even have that as an option for Sandy Pond.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, looking at the excuse me, looking at the report from last year, the pre-treatment survey, there was not even a .4 fanwort in Sandy Pond. So I can understand your logic. So that's good. I guess the only thing I'm a little concerned about is, I don't know if it's really fair to say that, that Solitude's getting comfortable. If you look back on what we spent last year, we did not do the sonar and Flanagan's, right? So we decided to take a year off, right? And then if you look back on what, the stuff that Bonnie had done, looking at historical treatment, go back to 2017, we did spend 61,000 at that time, right? 2018 was just about 39,000 also. So I guess I don't want to misrepresent Solitude, right? Honestly, I think they've done us pretty well. They've agreed with the backing off like we did. We skipped a year or whatever. And I think they're just recommending in their report that it could get a little out of control. And if you look at the post-treatment survey in in Flanagan, it was the fan was quite a bit, quite prolific, I guess you could say. So I would be concerned about not doing it. So
But that's in Flanagan's, right? You're talking about Flanagan's?
correct. Yeah. So I do like your thought process. Like I said, Sandy Pond does not have a fan wart real issue. So, taking out the sonar in Sandy Pond, that's a good way of thinking about it. I did not think about that, so I gotta digest that for a second or two. So I've said a bunch, so you guys can chat some more if you want. Go ahead.
And just to jump in a little bit, I think my thing about Solitude and the complacency was more with kind of they, failed to do some signage last year and kind of the notification to the abutters and that sort of thing. So that's what I was more concerned about. And we've only had, this being my second time doing this, but Solitude's kind of been the only kid on the block for a while. So the idea of trying a new company, I think would be really beneficial as well, just to see the difference. And that's where I was coming from with that.
Yeah, thoughts, Jen? Sorry, Jess?
No, I actually think that's really good reasoning. I mean, I think Solitude's done a great job, but what I'm concerned about is that the estimated costs for after a treatment year for the following year have been pretty much the same high cost, and we haven't seen any change. I would hope that if we did, and the other thing is the water and wetlands treatment of Flanagan for FAM work, their cost is for a whole pond treatment, whereas Solitude's was for 2/3 of the pond spot treatment. So I think their costs are comparable there, but I would be hoping we'd see the ability then to reduce some of the treatment costs for Flanagan the following year. So I'd be completely in favor just seeing what a different company did as well. Yeah. Competition's good.
Right.
And I think the all 86 acres, I guess I would potentially question that. I mean, are they literally going to do all the 86 acres, or really is it going to be concentrated where the where the weeds are?
In the Solitude thing, they were doing spot treatment using the sonar 1, the pellets, and then water and wetlands would be using sonar 1 and sonar Genesis. So I think they're two different versions of it. And one is more conducive to a longer whole pond treatment.
Right. Yeah, and I'm not sure. Does anybody know the liquid? Does that disperse throughout the pond, or is it really more like like Drano, where it kind of basically sits in one spot once it's poured? Once it goes through water. I don't know, but
Yep, I don't know either. George, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I go along with that. It seems like a reasonable approach. I think when they apply the liquid, they do it from an airboat and they drive around with a little pipe coming out the back where they let it flow out. So it gets dispersed fairly well.
And it says the sonar 1 is the granular time released formulation. And then the sonar Genesis is the liquid formulation, which raises the fluoridone concentration much more quickly than Sonar 1, which I think they'd want to do if they were doing a whole pond treatment. You want to raise the concentration up pretty fast before it gets flushed through to the next pond, so it can have some effect.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Any other comments from commissioners or?
So you say when you scrap that out, then it was, so they'd still do the dike plot in Sandy Pond?
Yep.
And you guys were still including the Phragmites and the lilies in Sandy Pond too there?
Yep.
It brings the overall total for them to $39,050 versus Solitude's $39,750.
Okay.
Any other thoughts?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Oh, the only other thought I'd had, actually, as a different thing was, about looking at what if we tried to put Pine Meadow Pond onto an every other year schedule. Because that hasn't seemed to be, I mean, but their costs are not too high, but I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah, looking on the pre and post treatment, so it basically was milfoil up in Pine Meadow, right?
And water lilies too, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
So Jess, are you suggesting nothing at all for Pine Meadow this upcoming year is what you're thinking maybe?
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to see, I don't know. I mean,
So the chemical that they're proposing to use for the lilies in the ponds, including Pine Meadow, is also the chemical they could use to start getting after some of the Phragmites in Pine Meadow, which is,
okay,
yeah,
all right, never mind.
just
Yeah. There's a lot of that, a lot of Phragmite.
there is.
Yeah.
Got 3 minutes.
Thank you, Jen. So we all in agreement to go with water and wetland and eliminate the sonar treatments and then go with all the rest of the quote
Eliminate sonar treatments in Sandy Pond.
in Sandy Pond. Yes.
Sounds good to me. Do we should vote on this one though.
So moved.
Second.
I was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Passes unanimously.
So then do we go for basically like 40,000 or is that already what we put in for town meeting?
We have a placeholder for 30,000. And I think at this point in the budget process, we can't up that, but in our accounts from previous town meeting allocations towards weed treatment, we have enough money to cover the cost of this contract.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah.
All righty.
So I just want to add one giant thank you to Jen for polishing up the spreadsheet analysis of these two proposals that we got. That was a thing of beauty, and it really made comparing apples and bananas a lot easier just having, yeah, so thanks. That was a great thing.
And anytime for spreadsheets.
The queen of spreadsheets.
Clearly.
All righty, well then, where's my agenda? We have for our next item this evening is a discussion on the Wild and Scenic Rivers Stewardship Council grant proposal. Is Faith with us this evening or no?
I don't think so. I don't see her, and I didn't hear back from her saying that she would be joining us. She was invited.
Yeah. It was truly a thing of beauty, the proposal. Yep.
Yeah,
When I read it, I only had one item that I thought I would change, which was a spelling, but I see that it did get changed in the final one, and so there we go. I can't believe I found a spelling. It's true.
I had to look up the word wend.
And
Wind is a very good word, and that's just what all of our water does. It wends its way down through air on its way to the Nashua River. It's kind of neat, except for the little piece of water that goes the other way. Bennett's Brook goes the other way.
All of us on the other end of the watershed.
Yep. I did see Robert briefly today, and he offered to write us a letter of support to submit with this grant application.
Oh.
And asked me to send him a reminder email, which I did, and told him we'd take him up on his kind offer.
nice.
And I don't know if there's anybody else, if should we ask Alan Manoyan for a letter of support, or it's such a strong proposal. It is truly, as you say, John, a thing of beauty. And we're so lucky to have Faith volunteer to do this for us.
I think,
Yeah.
I think Alan Manoyan would be a good idea.
Okay,
If he has time. I mean,
Does the one sign, is it what is it? Is it the M or maybe the O? Does that fall inside the West Main Street development?
which sign?
The one on West Main Street? on by the what is it, Nonocoshus Brook or something there maybe?
Nonocoshus Brook, I think. So that.
Or is that maybe just a little too far east?
I've got the map here. You know, I think where she's showing it. I don't know. I'll have to look at a more detailed map, and we can of course fine tune these locations.
Sure.
In the event that we are in fact installing signs.
Yeah, I think Alan would probably be good.
Okay.
Agreed.
Well, the grant is due April 1st. I'd like to send it maybe on the morning of the 30th, which would give Robert tomorrow and Monday to write us a letter of support. And I can, even though I'm not in the office tomorrow, I'll give Alan a quick call and just ask him if he would do that for us too.
That sounds good.
On the project estimate, there's 20 single-sided signs. I mean, basically, there's going to be 10 signs.
Right.
Yeah. And every single one is going to be double-sided.
Right. So we're patterning these signs off the sign in just over the Ayer Groton line for James Brook.
Mm-hmm.
Which their sign is it's a single sign post with a sign bolted on to either side of it. So it's you know, if the sign company can make us a two-sided sign, and maybe there's a bracket or something that joins a two-sided sign to a signpost. And maybe the bracket doesn't cost as much as producing an extra sign. You know, I think that's all stuff we can work out with in the production part of this with the sign company.
Yep.
But I know what we've priced out here, I know works, because and if there's a better, simpler, less expensive way to get the same impact, we can do that.
So there are 10 signs and there are 15 potential locations.
Mhm.
So we just have to figure out who doesn't make the cut.
Right. And if we want to do the most impactful signs, like there are a couple of signs buried way back in the development off Westford Road that would not see much traffic, those signs.
Yep.
I guess I
And you're-
misunderstood that because I thought that when we were prioritizing, I thought we were limiting it down to the 10 locations then. So maybe I didn't catch that then.
Well, and maybe Faith didn't catch that. I did send the prioritization list to her. But we can cross that bridge when we're staring at the grant. we can iron that detail out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any other thoughts?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So just give her the green light.
I think on that, we should have a motion to approve the proposal and submit it and thank Faith.
Is that your motion?
Sure, I make a motion to approve the wonderful proposal as drafted by Faith Salter as a volunteer, and to have Joanne submit it next Wednesday, March 30th.
Second,
All right. The motion was moved by Jess Gugino and seconded by George Bacon. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Alrighty. Thank you very much. That's a powerhouse family they got going there.
Oh, I tell you, it really is, and we're very lucky that they are aligned with our values.
Yeah. And by the way, what's going on with the other project?
Kazia's project.
Keziah's project, exactly.
I did send her an email last week wondering if the brochures made it to the library, and I did not hear back.
Mm-hmm.
I have a meeting with the library people tomorrow about the poetry project, so I will ask the library people if the brochures made it. And in the note I sent to Keziah, I also asked her what the plans were for, you know, the next part, which is getting the brochures into the hands of residents living on the ponds. And of course, I don't have an answer for that yet either, but I won't lose track of that.
Okay. All right. I'm just curious. Thank you.
Yep.
Alrighty, we have for our next item this evening a discussion on exempt minor activities and other possible regulations for Ayer's local wetland protection bylaw.
We have
And
16 minutes left in the meeting, so however we want to divide up the last 3.
okay.
should we maybe start with updates, just
Okay.
because we weren't quite prepared to discuss the other two.
Right. And
All right.
And here I am thinking I'd sacrificed my updates, and so I don't even really have any updates prepared beyond the ones that were in your packet. We've got, oh, you know what I can tell you about? I'll update you on this amazing brown bag I went to yesterday. Do you guys know about the Caterpillar Lab?
No.
Oh, you can look up thecaterpillarlab.org. There's a really dynamic young guy who grew up in Newton named Sam Jaffe, who is all about native caterpillars. And he's got this amazing projection microscope so that he can take photographs through. And he had 50 conservation agents literally sitting on the edge of our chairs for an hour yesterday as he was talking about the importance of biodiversity and how the eater becomes the eaten, and how the different life phases of caterpillars, you know, from egg to the different instars, the different life phases through a pupa to a moth or a butterfly, how they interact with the environment differently, even though it's the same organism, the different life phases. I was just completely blown away, and they recorded this session, so I'm hoping I can share it with you all. You will be dazzled. And the number and craziness of our native caterpillars is mind-blowing. Just yeah, just wait till you see. It was such an important hour. I learned so much, and he is just amazing. I did hear from our venerable monk. Yes.
Before you move on to that, just a quick question. Did I hear recently this is going to be one of the years for the 13 or 17 year cicada emergence?
I think that was last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I had these crazy insects in my sandy backyard called cicada killers. They're a wasp about this big.
Yeah.
That don't bother people at all. They completely freaked out Guy. He just wouldn't even go into that part of the yard. But they were looking for the cicada larvae. These wasps dig holes. Look up cicada killer. They were amazing.
There's something about this year being the 17th year, Jen. So, or just maybe it was a bad blurb though. I'll have to check it. Sorry, Joanne, go ahead.
Oh no, that's all right. Our venerable monk called us to ask if he needed anything from the commission to do a 10-foot diameter sand painting for an upcoming celebration on his parking lot. And I said no. He didn't. It was only going to be there for 2 days, and if it rained, it was going to be covered with a tent. And I did ask him to please get in touch with Paul McManus to find out what was going on. He did say he hadn't heard from Paul about a proposal. And I said, we really, really need to get going on this.
Yeah, it's been pretty long.
Yeah. Yep. We're getting lots of applications. Our next meeting we have extra time for, and it's still going to be a mad dash. There's just so much coming our way. We had a department head meeting. last week talking about a proposed reopening plan for town hall that would include by appointment only meetings. But that's still very much an in progress plan. I think they're looking at the beginning of April to start possibly doing something like that.
Did they say anything about board meetings?
Still remote.
Still good.
Yep. So if you had business with the town clerk, for instance, that absolutely couldn't be conducted over email or the phone, you could schedule a 15-minute maximum visit to the selectmen's meeting room. You know, it seems like they're being very thoughtful about this. So, but we'll see what happens. It's not a sure thing yet.
And that doesn't take into account any people that have been vaccinated or, no, it's just everybody. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's really whatever else I wrote on the meeting preview. That's the rest of the updates. Such a luxury to get to updates.
With 9 minutes left.
Whoa. Well,
We are supposed to get back to Jen with feedback on minor activities, right?
Yep.
I haven't done it yet.
I didn't want to call you out, Jess, but you haven't.
But everybody else has, right?
Pages noted.
I have a question. Is it ever going to come up with McDonald's with their project about the exemption? Is that something that we don't talk about, or why isn't that being discussed?
I don't know, and we'll have to. I think we should probably just talk about that later. I really truly didn't have a chance to read Judy's comments on the file number.
Yeah.
Beyond just glancing through them, and she's got concerns about how.
That Kim or Judy?
Judy.
Oh.
Yeah, Judy. Yep. Yeah, I would suggest waiting on the site walk to talk about that some more.
Well,
Okay.
theoretically, we can't talk about it on the site walk per se, but we can see how it applies while we're actually on site.
We could. And if you haven't read the regulation citation that I sent you, you'll have a chance to do that before our next meeting. Whoa, look at that. And I'm just going to say, just because we have time less doesn't mean we have to use it. We're not really prepared to talk about these last two agenda items.
No.
Any other
Unless Jess wants to. She looks like she wants to.
any other thoughts from commissioners and updates or concerns?
What was the idea behind the last item about special conditions?
What's the idea behind it?
Yeah,
We have to pare it down and simplify it and make it rational. It hasn't been updated in years, and I think it started like a rolling stone. It has started to gather a lot of moss.
I
And
thought they didn't.
You think
I thought they don't gather moss.
Rolling Stone does not get them.
right.
Snowball, Jess, a snowball.
I'm
Right,
all
it's-
spring, so
we have an appeal which basically challenges a lot of those conditions.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we should probably wait to see how many of those stand up before we address them.
Well, I figured we would just leave that on the agenda for for those occasions when we finally do have time or thoughts.
You're an optimist.
Well, just because we shouldn't really talk about it if it's not on the agenda, but you know, for those occasions when we do have extra time. But yeah, I agree with you, George. That appeal will probably give us some free feedback.
We could go through the special conditions, maybe one item, like have one item on the agenda, like you said, at the bottom end of the agenda every meeting, and just see, is that now addressed in the regulations that we've put out, in the bylaws that we've put out, and can it be scratched? I mean, we could always just pick away at it that way, maybe.
Yeah.
Good thought.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's probably a spreadsheet for that in Jen's future.
You guys are so good to me.
Well, if there's nothing else
Boy,
from
You all
commissioners, or
better.
anyone else who's viewing,
4 minutes early.
4 minutes early.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
George made the motion.
Yep, George made the motion, Mark seconded. We will take a roll call. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. We are adjourned.